Alright, so here is my tutorial on Archive 16. Actually, let me do this right. So what I'm going to talk about mostly is just how to do the first room quickly, and basically how your strafing and input should go in order to get 16 pace, or at least a good 17. So first, let's go ahead and start at looking at Bryan Bosshart's Archive 16. He was the first one to get it, so I think he knows quite a bit about the level since he was the first to untie it. Also, the video we'll look at is a dupe, but it's very clean, and we can learn quite a bit from it. So let's get started. So you cut both cinemas right away. Okay, so let's go back. I'll go over the way the boss does his first room. And in archives, what you want is a very clean run with minimal stucks and basically just really sharp movement everywhere. That's the key to getting good pace. So at the start of this level, the idea is get the key as quickly as possible and exit the room. Open the door and exit the room as quickly as possible. Now, because archives is like it's kind of an interesting level, you actually can't slap right after you like exit a cutscene, because the game, for whatever reason, it kind of like switches weapons or something. It's there's like a delay between the first moment you can actually slap and the start of the level. So what I recommend you do, and what Boss does, is he basically holds Z at the very beginning of the level, and he'll slap as soon as he possibly can. And he does this to time, like the way he does this is to get the key immediately and open the door right afterwards. So in order to get the slap to kill the guard, I'll show you what Boss does. So immediately he goes to the left of the table, and once he clears the table where the table is no longer in view, he immediately starts turning to the
Oh
right.
man, that's painful.
So let's take a look.
It's cause she
Oh,
was doing like flies or something, and
let
I
me
would have been it would have been too close.
okay. So immediately after, let's go back. I was interrupted there. Okay, so immediately after clearing the table, he starts looking right. Okay, you should not pick up the ammo or anything like that. That's bad, because then the guards will be alerted, and you won't will be very unlikely to actually get the kill in one hit. Because the idea is you're getting to the guard before he gets alerted, basically, and you could kill him in one hit. So what he does here is he's actually aiming with the center of this corner, like in the middle of the screen. And then when he gets about this close, where the slap is already coming out, you start turning left pretty hard here. And what should happen is you should kill the guard while you're moving to the left here. So, so right here, he just snaps left, and he kills the guard, he picks up the key, and then if he's moving, since he's moving full left, oh, this is bad. So right around here is when you want to hit B for the door open. I can't really pause the video at the right spot. Okay, right here. This is where you press B physically, because there's like a 2-frame lag or whatever. So the next frame or something, Bond actually is close enough and is aiming at the door. But right now he's aiming at this filing cabinet. But the next frame he will be aiming at the door. But physically, this is when you press B if you want to get the best door open. You could always delay it a little bit. It's not a huge deal for 16 pace. You just want to have a very fast door opening here. And then once he opens the door, he gets over into this corner, and then he basically up right strafes out. So right now he's holding up left strafe to clear the door to allow it to swing open, and then he holds right strafe right about now, holding up right, and he should be able to clear this door. So now he's going right a bit, and he's switching to DD44 right now, and it helps actually to get the warp. So actually he doesn't switch right away, but you basically want to exit the door and come clean out of it. So let's go over it one more time. And I'll use this as an opportunity to tell you, like, how are you able to even do this with the controller? Because I'm assuming that you're either either you have already mastered the inputs, like how to do inputs quickly, or you're new and you're trying to like figure out how do I open the door and switch weapons and all this really fast. So I'll show you like some ways that you can hold the controller to do this, assuming that you're using the 1.2 control style. So I recommend that you learn either the alien finger, which is where you, let me hold the camera here, where you either hold the controller like so, the thumb on the left, C buttons, index finger comes over. It lets you hit A and B while holding up right and up left. So you're going, say you start the level, up left, up right, slap, turn left, B, and then you're out. And then you can like, while you're doing the forward strafe, the strafe to the staircase, then you can hit A then with the thumb. Okay, does that make sense? Another way of doing this would be keyboard in any way. You could basically be moving at the same time, holding speed, and you can press A and B and open the doors while you're strafing into the corner and stuff like that, and switching weapons at the door. I feel like that's a little bit more comfortable and you can have more flexibility and stuff like that with that. But either way, the idea is you never want to let go of speed. So let's go ahead and look at Boss's video one more time at the start. So from the very start, he's holding forward, and he never lets go forward. I want to make that very clear, because every time you let go of speed, it takes quite a long time to actually build all that speed back up, to reaccelerate to maximum speed and stuff like that. And he hardly lets go of a direction unless he absolutely needs to. Now for this setup though, he does let go of up right and up left when he's going charging towards the guard. But first it's just up left, and then now he's only holding forward and he's turning to the right. He's holding Z this whole time and the slap's coming out. And then right when he's close enough, he starts holding up right and he starts turning. So right here he's basically doing something like this. He's killing the guard and he's turning right now. And then right here he hits B to open the door. Okay, and he's still holding up left. Once he clears the door enough though, he'll let go left and switch to right. And then he's going to start turning right. So here he's basically he's pretty much letting go of the stick now, or transitioning to holding right, and he's holding up right. And then here, if you're using 1.2, or if you're able to hit A or something like that, you kind of want to switch weapons right around here. You want to hit A here, because what will happen is you'll pull the DD44 right now, and you could warp the door. If you actually kind of get stuck on it, or you open the door a little slow, you can still pop out pretty fast, which is good for 16 pace. So right now, Boss is basically just holding upright, and either switches weapons, but first you want to do a sharp turn here to clear this box. You want to be on the very corner here. You don't want to get stuck on it and stuff like that. So you got to turn pretty sharp, which can be tricky on like kind of worse controllers, but this should be fine. And then there's also a box off screen on the right. You want to clear that too. So you kind of want to have a direct line to the corner of this wall here. So I guess from here we'll proceed with the rest of the level. So he looks down right now about 45 degrees, which is pretty important. It reduces lag, and so that saves time, a couple frames here and there. And so now he switches to the DD44. You could have done that earlier, but now you have to switch to it by now, basically. And then right at this, okay, so right when you hit the corner, he starts left strafing. So let's go back and see when does he actually do that. So right around now, you actually want to start holding up left strafe. You don't want to get caught on the corner here, but you do want to hold left such that you have good speed, so you can actually get up these stairs as quickly as possible. So like right now he's already going up left, and he's going to go try to get to this corner here and switch to up right strafe. Okay, so let's see. So right now he's transitioning to holding up to upright, and he's turning right a little bit once he clears the corner of this railing. Also, I recommend you start shooting just a little bit further from now, like right when you get to this step here, you can start shooting, and you want to shoot about 6 bullets to get a consistent guard opening the door. So right here he starts shooting, basically. And you want to make sure your direction is such that you are clearing this, you're going, diagonally so you can get up these stairs quickly as possible. You don't want to grind against this wall. It'll slow you down by quite a bit. And then basically you want to, get to the corner here and turn sharp once you clear the box. But you don't want to get stuck on this wall, so, that's a compromise on what you want to do there. You also can take this line a little bit wider if this guard's like closer to the wall, because you can be pretty random in how you reacts to your shooting. So you want to just make sure you pass this guard and don't get stuck on him. That's the main thing. You want to just be going, for the corner of the door here as quickly as possible. So right here is where you want to start the shooting, is around this pillar, because if you shoot more, you're going to either reload, which will fuck up this warp here, or you'll basically lure, like, too much noise can make this guard act weird. He won't open the door quickly or something. So right now he just did a slight adjustment to get to this corner here. You can barely see it, but that's kind of what he's aiming for. And this orientation is basically trying to direct him to the middle of the door. You don't really want to go to the corner because you can get stuck and stuff like that. You want to go towards the middle about. Now right here is where I recommend you start switching weapons, maybe even a little bit sooner. And the idea is that this guard usually is crouching here, or he'll stand here and try to shoot you. So in order to be consistent, you want to switch weapons and kind of pop out of this as quickly as possible without getting stuck too badly. So right when you come out, you need to have a pretty sharp turn, because what you don't see right now is that there's this railing at the top, and there's the door that's pretty far out. You want to go straight to the middle of the door. You don't want to go to the railing. That loses a lot of time if you actually go to the railing. So try to take an optimal line. Your look down should be something like 45 degrees here. And it takes a while to learn where the door is, but that's what you should be aiming for. Okay, so right here, basically you want to be aiming to like touch this corner. Like, you don't want to touch it, but you want to like stand here. And what I recommend you do is you try to hit B as soon as this corner of the door is in the center of your screen, and you should have a pretty good door open. And once you do that, you do want to turn left a little bit so you don't get stuck on the doors. But what's most important is you turn a sharp right after opening the door. So right here, Boss opens the door pretty well, and he turns left to go through these doors a little bit faster. But right afterwards, once he's starting to go through it, he turns right really hard, and to get to the right of this bookcase. Now, this is all stuff you can like just see on your own, but I mean the inputs are like, it's good to have it spelled out, I think, to know exactly what to do here. And then right here, there's a sharp left turn right after you clear the bookcase. So let's see. So right when you are like here, where the bookcase is like in front of your view, you want to start turning left really hard. You don't really get stuck on this corner too much, so it's okay to try to go a little hard on that. And you just want to take the direct line to go from corner to corner to corner, because there's another railing here that you want to like basically clear. So he does a sharp turn left and a sharp turn right here to get to this point, which you need to do another sharp left turn, just like so. And you're holding upright the whole time. And so basically, once you clear this bookcase, you do want to turn right kind of hard, but not too hard. The angle is such that you want to open the door as fast as you can. So you kind of want to have it so you barely have the door close enough in the middle of your screen when you press B and you switch trays really fast. So here's another place where you probably want to use alien finger, because you never want to let go of forward. You always want to be holding upright and up left here. So never let go forward. That would be very bad. Okay, so here, when you have the door this close, basically what you want to do is you want to snap right a little bit and then snap left. The reason why you want to snap right is because you want to like just get that extra distance by changing your angle to open the door, like so. But then you want to turn left right away, because you want to leave the door as soon as possible. You do not want to touch the wall. You don't want to basically lose a lot of time by going into the door and stuff like that. Boss actually goes kind of far into the door here. You could actually open it a little bit faster, but this is still good enough for 16, because his beginning was very smooth. So he opens the door, and right after he hits B, he's already gone. He's like turning as hard as he can, because he doesn't, you need to go to the window now. you know, this line is pretty self-explanatory. You don't really want to rub against this rail, but it's not terrible that you do. You can get stuck though, so just keep that in mind. So he does a small adjustment to not get stuck on the corner here. But Natalia will either see you now or as you're like going to this bookcase here. So that's good. Sometimes she just won't see you, so don't be discouraged if that happens. Just, you know, got to keep going with it. Because there's like a few pixels that lets her see you and stuff like that. It's kind of weird. Anyways, you know, sharp turn left because you want to hit this corner here. And also you want to see this door lined up here. You don't want to go too far left because then you'll slam into the door. And if you go too far right, you'll hit this bookcase. So you want to just go in a nice clean line here and then, you know, left to sharp left. So he turns right really hard, but then he immediately turns left here really hard to get to this railing. Now this railing, you don't want to grind into it. You just want to go parallel with it. And right now you want to have your DD4-4 out. Before you could have actually, when you warped the guard earlier, you could just stay unarmed. And it's actually less laggy, which might make it easier to get 16. But yeah, right now you want to pull your DD4-4 out. And then start looking up. You want to have, not complete lookup, but you know, just enough that you can shoot the glass right away. So once you get to this corner, you do want to turn left, kind of hard, and you don't want to let go of forward or of up left yet. You want to try to get as close as you can while having full speed, but you do want to, like when you're lined up, you want to let go of left and just start holding forward and shoot as fast as you can. Now I wouldn't say you want to mash as fast as you can. That's not how you shoot fast. You got to time it. So like you shoot and the bullet comes out and then you shoot again. It's just weird how this game works. If you mash it, you shoot pretty slow, but if you time it well, you shoot really fast. So he shoots, you know, 4 shots, I think, or 5 shots to break the glass right away. So 4 shots, and then he's out, basically. And you need to just, like, you know, a nice full strafe at the end if you can to squeeze an extra frame, if possible. But that's what you need to do in order to get out quickly. And that's how Boss did 16. Now I'll show you one more 16 video, which is slightly different first room, which might be easier if you're using 1.2, and you can hold strafe basically the whole time. So let's go ahead and get started. This is Phil's 16, which is pretty good. So let's get started. So here he again clears the table, except this time he's not turning towards this guard as much. He's kind of just, I'm not sure exactly how to describe it, but he's kind of like looking like this. Basically, he wants to keep the guard lined up with the right side of the screen. And the reason why he's doing this is because he's holding up left and then he's going to hold up right while holding slap, basically. And so what's going to happen is he's going to zip over here and kill this guard while still be looking towards the door. So he kind of does look down a bit and does go right a bit, but the thing is he's lining up his strafe with the corner. Kind of like how Boss was lining up his forwards with the corner, you want to line up the strafe with the corner. He slaps the guard and he's immediately turning left here. And then what you want to do is, because he can like look, because he's looking like this way a little bit, it's a little bit easier to open this door fast. So you can open the door like right now, basically. And so like the door is already opening right here. It's pretty crazy. And you're just holding up left, so you're gonna, you know, get to this corner as soon as possible, and then basically, you know, sharp turn right and switch your weapons to DD4-4 right now would be good. Again, you strafe change up here, go for the corners, shoot until you have at least 2 or 3 bullets left. He shoots 1 more, which is okay, but the thing is he's stopping here, which is important. He switches, so this is where you want to like pay attention to where the warp is happening. So he switches weapons when he gets to around there, I would say. So right around now. So right when you get to this wall, I guess, is when you want to switch weapons. It'll let you squeeze through this guard if he gets you stuck. And then again, let's slow down a little bit here. Again, you want to like open this door as fast as possible. I wouldn't recommend you actually like look forward for this. I think you can actually open the door pretty fast just by having strafe into the door. But this works too. You can turn a little bit and try to open it a little bit faster. But right after he opens it, he tries to strafe through the middle of the door, but immediately turns to the right. Kind of like goes along the right door. And he does a bunch of sharp turns here. And then the way that Phil does this Natalia door is the way I do it, which is really fast. Basically, you want to just kind of like turn a little bit. It's hard to explain, but he just kind of opens it as fast as he can, and then you just strafe away as hard as you can, and then you just don't touch the railing if possible. Try to escape as quick. Do these nice smooth turns. Go along the railing. Don't grind into it. Look up, and then you just start shooting right away. And that's it basically. Also, I wouldn't suggest that you pull out the DD44 when you enter the library. Even though Phil does it in this video, try to stay unarmed. You don't need to have your gun out now. It's actually a little bit smoother without it. But yeah, that's basically what you need to do. The hardest part's probably doing the inputs and having the good angles. Like having good control of bond is really required. Like having a good strafe line here can be tricky. Good timing on the B press is kind of difficult. Doing the sharp turns in the library takes some practice, but that's kind of what you need to do. And then like never letting go forward. You need to remember that. And then like holding up left this whole time until right about now when you're lined up with the window, and then you start shooting. That's kind of all there is to 16. But it's a good level to learn how to move bond and how to get those quick lines basically. Like good lines quickly is a lot of the level. And shooting fast at the end is kind of needed if you want to clear the glass quickly. But yeah, that's what it takes to get 16. Hopefully this has been helpful. Look over a lot of other 16 videos to get an idea like how fast you need to go. One last thing I guess is in order to know if you have the pace, you'll feel it I guess for this level. It's more feel than anything. There's not a lot of music cues, but there's one cue you can kind of use. When you pick up the door key and then DD44, it kind of queues up all these different like messages, and as soon as you leave the room you get another message that says A completed, and when the A completed goes away it tells you kind of how fast you're going for the first room. So you want the A completed to go away like right around here, like right where Phil is basically. That's 16 pace, so it's pretty easy to get that, but that's not including like if you're really slow to getting the key. Like if your key is slow, then it'll disappear faster, or the message will be the same, but you'll have a slow start. So the idea is like you want to do this as fast as possible. But yeah, this is the minimum here for 16 pace. It's disappearing right at the corner. Everything else needs to be really clean. Don't get stuck on doors if possible. Try to not to touch the Natalia door. Shoot fast, and that's it. Alright, this is probably longer than it needs to be, but hopefully I covered everything, the different ways to do the first room, and how to strafe well, I guess. Alright, thank you.